Everybody, welcome back to the Building and Becoming show.
Hiya, folks.
Allie's with me. My favorite Mrs. Moats of all time.
Won't tell your mom.
Okay, good point. Guys, however you're joining us today, we both appreciate you being here very much. I've been doing a lot of solo casts, so I am so excited to have my beautiful bride here.
Hello.
And we've got a lot to celebrate.
Well, and we also have a guest in the basement. You just can't see her. She's got 4 legs and she's hairy.
That's true.
Which, does it sound like it's a person if I say that?
Well, it sounds like it's a really awful person. But it's actually our new addition to the family, Maple May Moats.
Miss Maple May.
She's over in the corner, so she'll probably pop in at some point because she's a little bit ornery.
She's a little baby.
Yeah, so it's been a little while since we did this together.
I do think so myself.
Like probably a couple months.
Yeah, because I've been a gal on the go.
Yeah, you are on the go. What we want to talk about today, one of the things, is what Allie has just finished last night.
Uh-huh.
It's called the Live Hard program.
Yes, it is. I did it. I did 75 hard, and I did phase 1, and I did phase 2, and then I did phase 3. And I did it all within a year. And something that I was thinking about yesterday was I didn't have to restart once.
Yeah, that's certainly the biggest accomplishment of the whole thing. So I want to be clear because we always have new people. And there's going to be people like, well, what does that mean? What is Live Hard? What's 75 hard? So see my shirt?
Because Jim, too, also did 75 hard. But audience, you need to get on him to do 75 hard again and continue the Live Hard program.
So here's what it is. Thank you for inserting that. 75 Hard is a program developed by Andy Frisella. Mm-hmm. He has a company called First Form out of St. Louis, Missouri. They're a supplement company. Awesome. They have apparel, fitness gear.
Yes. He
also has one of the top rated podcasts in the world called The Real AF Show.
Yes.
And if you go to his podcast, first off, be prepared for a little bit of language. And secondly, go to episode 208, and it lays down everything you need to know about Live Hard, 75 Hard, and the phases. So 75 Hard is the first of 4 phases that you have to complete in exactly 365 days.
Yep.
And I say exactly because you have to finish your 3rd phase the day before you started 75 Hard.
Correct.
So 75 hard, 75 days. There's different non-negotiables each day that you have to adhere to. There's no alcohol. You stick to a diet. You have to work out twice a day. And one workout has to be outdoors.
Correct.
They each have to be at least 45 minutes, regardless of weather and whatever else you might go through. What else is in there?
So you've said it all for 75 hard, the diet. And then as you progress, there's phases. The phases are only 30 days. On phase 1 and phase 3, you have to take a 5-minute cold shower. So that's added, and that's awful. Like, I don't know what else to say. It's terrible. And then as the phases progress, phase 2, you have to do a 10-minute visualization. And that's not like laying in bed with your eyes closed. Like, it has to be set. You have to be specific about it, and you have to just sit in the quiet, which is really uncomfortable in the beginning because you are constantly checking the timer, being like, how much longer do I have? And then in phase 3, you have the 5-minute shower again, and you have you have to talk to a stranger and a random act of kindness.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Every aspect of life. So it's not a physical challenge. It's the world's most arduous mental toughness test.
Yeah, but a lot of people, myself included, started out 75 hard for the physical aspect. But then you realize as you progress through it that that's the furthest thing on the list.
Yeah, here's one thing I don't want to gloss over because you mentioned it. In any of the phases, let's say you're in 75 hard and you get to day 60. Oh, you have to do a underwear picture every day too. Let's just say you get to day 65 and you forget to do your picture. You're done.
Yeah,
you have to go back to day 1. So there is 0 room for mistakes, and you made it through all 4 phases, which is a total of 165 days out of the 365-day year. Mm-hmm. And you never messed up, and you never had to go back and start again.
No.
Yeah, it's impressive. You're the only human being I personally have ever known that's completed Live Hard. I've known a few people that have done 75 hard. I've even known way more people that have attempted 75 hard, but very few people get through it.
Or they do 75 soft.
Yeah, which is not even a thing, but whatever you want to tell yourself. So congratulations. You just finished yesterday. So today is day 0.
Yes.
So did you start 75 hard this day last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so last night a year ago, I was at a girlfriend's house that I'm no longer friends with anymore. And I ate a bunch of chocolate cake and got drunk the day before because I was just like, it is what it is. And also part of me thought it was going to be pretty simple to do, that I was going to be able to lick it, no issue. And it was hard that next morning getting up and having to do those workouts because quite honestly, I also started it out of spite. And it changed everything. So to look at how my life began last year as opposed to how it ended yesterday is crazy to me. So
I'm playing around on the computer here because I'm going to find a post that you made. Would you be okay with me reading this?
Yeah.
So I read this yesterday and got pretty emotional, if I'm being honest. This is Allie on a post that she made in our school community yesterday, which we'll unpack a little bit more. School, you guys know we do School, SKOOL, for those of you that don't know. It's an amazing online platform where we do elite discipleship. Allie shared this with the group yesterday. I officially completed the entire Live Hard program. That means 75 hard and all 3 phases, all completed within 1 year. The night before I started, I drank and ate myself sick. Not because I thought the program was a joke, but because I didn't believe I could actually do it. That night was a reflection of where I was mentally. Low confidence, low standards, and disconnected from myself. I had false confidence, a loud ego covering insecurity. If you asked me then what I did for fun, my answer was always a joke, day drinking. The truth is, I didn't know who I was without escaping. I didn't realize I didn't really have hobbies. Embarrassing, I know. Starting 75 hard wasn't about fitness. It was about finally deciding to take myself seriously and hopefully find happiness. Over the course of this year, that decision required 165 days, 330 workouts, 1,850 minutes of training, outdoor workouts in every kind of weather, rain, snow, sleet, extreme heat and humidity, 10 pages of reading daily, 60 5-minute cold showers, 30 conversations with strangers, 165 gallons of water, no alcohol, no cheat meals. I got the stomach flu twice during 2 different phases and still had to drink my water, even knowing I'd throw it up. I dealt with shin splints, plantar fasciitis, and very sore muscles. I lost 35 pounds, but the physical change is the smallest part. I shifted from someone who quit or compromised to someone who keeps her word. The outdoor workouts that humbled me and stripped my ego. The overdue apologies I finally gave because I could humble myself enough to admit that sometimes I was the problem. My husband once told me, "Your beauty is the least cool thing about you." And through this program, I finally understood what he meant. I no longer need to be the loudest in the room. I don't need the last word. I don't need to punch down, even when I could. My circle changed too. Some of my close friends I had when I started aren't in my life anymore. I chose to remove myself from misery, gossip, and stagnation. Misery loves company, and growth requires separation. I realized we were running out of things in common. I found myself trying to convince people that the things I was becoming excited about were cool. And as I stopped escaping my life, something unexpected happened. My life got more full. Today, the things I enjoy are endless. I've discovered I'm quite crafty. I genuinely love to bake. I love learning, creating, and being present. Finishing the entire program, the pride I felt wasn't about aesthetics, but hello, small bikini. It was about knowing I completed something very few people ever do. I learned more about myself in the past year than I did in the previous 32 years of my life. The biggest lesson I'm taking forward is this. No matter what life throws at you, showing up for yourself daily leads to breakthroughs you never thought would happen. A special shout out to my handsome hubby. You showed up and championed me every single day and loved me a little harder on the days I was awful. We put the world on pause so I could do this. I love you more. And then she includes her photos for comparison.
Didn't I add a PS?
Yeah, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So the photos are in here, and then the final PS at the end. This is the one thing no one can take away from you or tell you that you didn't earn.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You know, when you speak of things that people can't take away from you, I relate. One of the reasons that when I was in a process of reinvention, which is what I've gone through, as have you, we both, what's so great about our marriage is, well, and this was the biggest challenge too, I think, is a couple years ago, we were both at a place where we didn't know who we were, and we both needed to reinvent ourselves.
Right.
And what we found through reinventing ourselves was we need, respect, love each other more.
I agree.
It's been amazing. And through that reinvention, we decided to do it with things that people can't take credit for, that people can't steal from us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's been everything.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, girl.
Thank you. That's where the confidence comes from. It's when you become somebody that's, I don't know, untouchable, so to speak, then you realize that you don't have anything to lose because there's nothing to be taken, to be lost. It's all built within. That's what you're unshakable. Nothing gets under your skin anymore the way that it used to because it's no factor.
It is no factor. We don't fear man anymore.
Right.
We talk about that a lot in our Zoom calls in building and becoming, because that fear of man is so crippling. And when we say fear of man, we're not scared to go outside, that we're going to get beat up. That's not the fear of man I'm speaking of. It's people's opinions.
For me, it was, are they mad at me?
Yeah.
Did I say something and make them upset? Yeah. And it's always that worrying, is this person going to go out of my life?
Yeah.
And now it doesn't, okay.
Yeah.
You know, enjoy it. Like, don't let the door hit you.
Yeah. And we both experienced a lot of loss in that area in the last couple of years. And at first, it's a little bit traumatic.
It's crippling.
It is. Mm-hmm. Then you start realizing, wait a minute, if I'm trusting in God, I should just trust that he's pruning these people out of my life.
One thing God always does is when he takes somebody out of your life, he replaces it with something or someone better. And you just have to trust that in order for something new to grow, you have to prune, you have to take a look, and you have to cut things off. People are the hardest things to remove out of your life.
Yeah.
Because, and this might sound bad, I had one friendship that I kept around in my life for far too long. And we had done this back and forth, not being friends, being friends again. And it finally came down to, I knew that this person and I weren't aligned on the same path. But I was worried that we wouldn't be friends anymore, and how would I feel, and would I be lonely again? But also the friendship became a little bit transactional. When we would travel, she would watch our house, and then if we wanted to travel again, then what would we do, because we trust her? And so it was kind of like I had to get to a point where we'll figure it out. Why am I letting this friendship stay in my life? Because it's a transactional thing between the two of us. Yeah. And I know that sounds crummy or selfish, but I had to be like, well, what will be. I can't continue to make myself dull down to fit and to hate, to be cool to these people.
One of the things I found is that as I was focusing on personal excellence, my circle became smaller. And why? Because when you're living like the masses, you have a ton of people around you all the time, because that's what the word masses means. Mm-hmm. But the Bible calls us to be set apart, to be different, to be out of the world. We're in the world, but we're not of this world.
Right.
So as we become set apart, as we become exceptional, as we become people that are chasing personal excellence and focusing on our standards, other people aren't living up to that, because just from a pure number standpoint, that's just not how it is. If you want to be a 1%er, why are you shocked when there's not 99 people hanging out with you?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've experienced it, as have I. And another thing that's great about that is we're doing it together in a marriage, in a covenant marriage. We're doing this together, yet on our own. And when we come together, we have such a greater appreciation for who the other one is, because we are in a marriage that's combined of two 1%ers.
Yes.
It's astounding.
Right.
And it's the biggest blessing of my life. I just can't thank you enough for everything that you are, and to me and to our family. It's amazing. You've changed the game.
Yeah. I guess I don't have a lot of words, because it's just kind of, it is like, this is just what life is now. And I couldn't imagine, like, if given the opportunity a year ago to be like, are you sure you want to do this, but you have to go through all this? The answer is still yes. The way that I feel about myself as a mom, as a wife, as a friend is so different than what it was last year. And it also allows me to be more confident in my voice, because I am strong in what I believe. Before, I was a little bit like all in, and then I would take a few steps back and get disconnected. And now it's like, no, I'm really all in, and I'm going to be bold, and I'm going to speak what I believe my truth is. And I'm also going to set firm boundaries where if you cross this and you make it feel like my dreams or goals or ambitions or whatever are stupid, then I can't be your friend anymore. And when I say that I apologized to some people, I did. I made amends. I reached out to my mom. I reached out to a girlfriend that I really hurt. And so what I learned with that is I would think that everybody needed like an I'm sorry from me, which isn't the truth. Sometimes the way that I can make an amends or give that apology to a person is by living differently now, and understanding that I don't need to open the door to all of that, because if I open up the door to all of that, it's a hole. It's going to suck you in, especially if you relied heavily on that person. So sometimes the best way to make an apology is a living apology, and just being different than the person that you were yesterday.
Wow. So yeah, you're living out a testimony that requires few words.
Yeah.
That's good. I want you to unpack something for us. And this is, I was going to say for the women, but also for the men out there that might want to understand the more in-depth benefits of something like 75 Hard or Live Hard. How did going through this last year and accomplishing these things and developing these habits, this framework, and this discipline, how did it change you as a mom?
It's allowed me to pause, I think. So I am really guilty. I think one of my parenting flaws is if Arlie does something that's out of pocket, I give her a consequence, but the consequence might not necessarily fit the behavior. And then I feel guilty about it. And I want to take away that consequence, and for her and I to be buddies again. And this has allowed me to pause, remove myself from the situation, and then kind of reevaluate the behavior from there. Is that warranting a consequence? Is it warranting a talk? So that's something that's really helped. And I've been more present in parenting activities. Like we've done the pumpkin patch, and we've gone to, done painting and all kinds of stuff. And typically, if alcohol was served at an event, I would have some sort of alcohol, whether it's cider or, wine or something like that. And then that fun time for my child would turn into more of a fun time for me. And I would, be drunk, or I'd be getting intoxicated and not be able to really play or understand, or be too caught up in my own self. And then I'd have a crummy next day. So that's allowed me to be fully present and, be all hands on and do all this stuff, and then not feel guilty when I don't want to do something. So when it's like, dude, mom's tired, can I just veg on the couch? I don't have that stuff eating the back of my mind. Well, last time you did this, so you should, and then you end up doing stuff out of guilt. So it's allowed me to be really present. It's allowed me to have patience and give, grace when needed, instead of just being angry and on edge. And it's allowed me to just kind of I want to say like, just be like, by me just kind of living every day, I'm showing a great example to Arlie on, how clean eating goes, what your body is for. And she's also kind of been present as I've like pushed away from some friends. So we've had really great talks about, not everybody needs to be your friend. And if someone's going to be your best friend, what does that mean? And so she's been able to kind of watch all of this stuff day in and day out and understand that, we had her pick up my ruck. Remember that time that it was in my trunk?
Yeah.
And bring it inside because I had to do an indoor, or I had to walk in the backyard. I think I can't remember.
It was a blizzard.
Yeah, it was snowing, and so she brought it in, and we have cameras everywhere, and so we were able to watch her on the cameras in the garage, and she's struggling, and she's out there pouting, and I can't, and all this stuff, but she got the ruck. She carried a 20-pound ruck in from the garage into our living room. And that was such a great example for me. And I think a win on my board as mom, because if you say you can't, if you already believe that you can't do it and you're so quick to get frustrated and throw your hands up, then you're already, selling yourself short. And so she I can't, like my thing that I say is can't, never, did nothing. And, because it's true. And so she's starting to learn, and, she reads the back of the ingredients. So how many servings is this?
Yeah.
No, you cannot eat an entire box of whatever. Like you can have 5 nuggets or, and so that's been something that's really cool. And it's also been really fun for her to talk about me to her friends. Mm-hmm. Like my mom has to go out and work out outside. And it's just like, if I get to be that example for her and how she wants to become as a woman, I think I'm doing a pretty damn good job.
Totally agree. Love everything that you just said. I'll add to it a couple things. I've seen emotional maturity and way more effective and loving conflict resolution from you in this last year. And yes, with Arlie, but with me. Yeah. Sometimes I get a little bit upset. I'm like, why aren't you getting mad? You're having this talk with me about, well, maybe it's this and maybe it's that. And I'm thinking this is probably a time we should be fighting. And you're just diffusing it using emotional maturity, because certainly if anyone's seeing the camera, I'm a couple years older than Allie, but she's way more mature. And I accept that and I appreciate it. But that's helped everything in our marriage and in your parenting. And the example you talk about, I'm always hearing you tell Arlie, we don't do can't in this house. You can do anything. And you're always pouring value into her, helping her believe ahead, creating a culture of honor in our home to where believe in yourself so others will also have belief in you. And you set the example in your peer group and all of those things. And that's a game changer. You mentioned earlier, the person that believes they can't, what's that get them? So the person that is sure they can and the person that's sure they can't have one thing in common. They're both right.
There's a diagram that I made on our school community.
I love this.
And I would love to take credit, but I can't. Sarah Blakely. Sarah Blakely came up with it. She's a woman that I've followed for a very long time. I watched her master classes. I love her. I've read her book. I just think that for women entrepreneurs, women trying to figure out who they are, she's a really great follow because she gives you that encouragement that might be lacking in your inner circle. And it feels like you have a friend. So she's amazing. Shoot. I got on this rant about Sarah Blakely and I forgot.
The diagram.
Okay. So she made this diagram and it basically is, so say there's like you're on Earth right now and there's a little bit of a divot. So like a hole that you could fall off a cliff or whatever. Okay. And then on the other side of that cliff is your goal. And so how she used the example is she was on this reality show, like Fear Factor, Real World, that kind of stuff. Okay. And so there was a challenge and you had to jump across this river on a bungee cord and land in your partner's arms. And they were these big, strong guys that were jumping and falling short. And it's not because they weren't strong enough or didn't have the willpower or the want to do it. It's because their focus wasn't on the right place. So when she jumped, she landed right in her partner's arms. And it's not because she looked at him in the eyes. It's because she looked over him and then was able to fall into the goal or fall into him. And so that's how kind of goal setting should work. if you're going to set a goal, you don't want to set where you're right there on the goal. You want to set over it so you fall into the goal, because you always want to aim higher. If you just aim at the bare minimum, that's what you're going to get. And here's another super cool thing. So you have your goal that's like a little bit above the ground, and then way above it, there's another goal, like your your max goal, like that on a bullseye, that would be on a dartboard, that would be the bullseye. Okay. And then your other goal would be the surrounding, what do I call that? Brackets?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And so if you aim for that big goal, if you jump and you look way past that big goal and you miss the big goal, there's all that space of goal in between that you're going to hit. And that's how you need, in order to be a successful person, I believe, that's how you aim your stuff. And then the chances of you being disappointed are far less. Because if you try to accomplish something and you can't do it, it doesn't come easy, what are you going to do? Quit.
Yeah,
You're
generally.
You're going to give up, you're going to be pissed off, and you're going to take 3 steps back. And that's why when you're setting these habits, these goals, or you want to aim for something a little bit achievable. And then once that's like, oh, this is no sweat, then you add more to it. And then you believe in yourself, you have that confidence, and you're like, I can do anything.
That's awesome. I actually found the post with the picture. It speaks to what we try to teach a lot in Building and Becoming. Don't have 10 things you're trying to get accomplished right now. Let's start with one. Let's prioritize and execute. Let's take one thing and turn it into a habit. Let's do it day after day for about a month and turn it into a habit. We're going to keep a promise to ourselves that we're going to continue to do that. Then we're going to take another action. Then we're going to do that day after day after day, and it's going to turn into a habit. And now we're adding stacks up on that framework of habits, and that's how discipline is built. You're saying the same thing.
Yeah. So I just read Atomic Habits, which is another really great book, and they talk about forming good habits. Shocker.
Right. Yeah.
But if I were to give if you only take one thing out of our talk today, find a habit that you can accomplish within 2 minutes, because it's easy. It doesn't feel like you're giving a lot, especially for beginners. And then once you have that 2-minute habit licked, then do something that's not inconvenient that can stack onto that habit. So say if you want to start going to the gym. Okay, so your 2-minute habit would be putting your shoes out. Okay, not even putting them on, just putting them out. And then you got that. Now you can start putting your shoes on. And then you want to do something that involves going to the gym that's not out of the way. So find a gym on the way to work, for instance, because then it doesn't feel like you're having to get off work, drive clear across town. It's right there, or setting out what you could do is set out your gym clothes. That's a 2-minute habit. And then you begin to stack on them and then reward yourself after you complete that habit. Okay. So for instance, there was a man, I can't remember his name is, but he needed to write a book or do something, but he liked to watch TV, or he needed to exercise, but he liked to watch TV. So what he did is he combined the two. He rigged up a way for his bicycle to power his TV, and he had to be over a certain amount of speed or the TV would shut off. Reward yourself with something that you like to do immediately after performing a habit, because then it releases dopamine in your brain, and so you want to do it more.
Go do it more.
So that doesn't mean do a solid 90-minute workout and then swing through McDonald's. No, but maybe you like a David bar or a really yummy protein shake, and have that. Give yourself something that makes you be like, I can't believe this. Like with me, after every phase, I bought something. So we got new shoes one time. I got a pedicure the other time. And then for this last time, getting my hair done. Because whenever you do something, as long as there's a positive outcome, you're more likely to hit it. And another thing too is if you are doing something and then you have your positive outcome immediately after, and then your dopamine kind of sinks. But if you prolong your positive outcome, your dopamine is going to rise a lot higher than it would if you would have got it immediately.
And stays up longer because it started higher.
Yep. Yeah.
It's good. It's great advice. So what you've gone through, what you have purposefully put yourself through in the last year. Yeah. Microdosing a lot of adversity.
Yes.
This is precisely why you and I are so passionate about building and becoming the community. Yeah, and the YouTube channel and the podcast. We have the same branding as you've picked up, but the school community is where the real transformation's happening.
I agree.
And what you and I do is we live this stuff out so we are more effective teachers, I was going to say ministers because I was thinking of the biblical term, but we're not pastors, we're not ministers, but we do like discipling people, and discipling people is helping them learn to grow in their faith, understanding how to live out the words of the Bible, how to live in biblical excellence. And we train and live this lifestyle so we can help those people that come in and say, look, I just need a little help. I need help getting started. I'm no fitness expert. I haven't picked up a Bible in 15 years, but I know I want a better life. And it seems like what you guys have going on is kind of cool, and I'd like to be part of it. So many people were reaching out to us and saying that those similar things, but they didn't know us enough or trust us enough yet to want to make an investment.
You're not going to want to take advice on how to drive a vehicle from someone who only rides a bike because they don't have any skin in the game. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so exactly like what you're saying, you want to surround yourself with people who are chasing the same victories that you are and learn from them. But if you're surrounded by a bunch of people that you can't pick up one bit of knowledge from, whether it's, learning or, just like common sense, like the street smart stuff like that, then you're doing yourself a disservice.
I'll give you a great example is while you were on phase 3, I took that 30 days because I wanted to microdose some adversity too. And I also wanted to do a bit of an experiment physically, emotionally, spiritually with myself for 30 days. So I won't get into all the specifics here. You can reach out to me and I'll unpack it all for you. And I'll do that in school here real soon. I decided to alter how I trained in the gym. In other words, the amount of weight, reps, sets, frequency, the amount of eccentric and concentric speed that I would use, the up and down speed that I would use. So I decided to tweak that, totally do something different for 30 days. I changed my nutrition, put it on its head. Mm-hmm. So no sugar, no dairy, no wheat, gluten, none of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I also added some real specific protein supplementation, and I was tracking it each day. I would get this scoop at this time and this scoop at this time. I wanted to do it for 30 days. So I took all my metrics on day 1, and then I took all my metrics after day 30, which was this morning, and the results were phenomenal. So just to throw this out there, and like I said, I won't unpack, here's the entire training method, and here's the entire nutritional blueprint. There's a place for that. I'm happy to give you that value. But the results of this were, I added 2.2 pounds to my frame, which was a goal, right? I'm not in a weight loss situation. I do want to add lean muscle. So I added 2.2 pounds to my frame. My overall body fat percentage went down a couple tenths of a point. And of that 2.2 pounds, 0.2 pounds was fat, 2 pounds was lean muscle.
Right.
And now I can teach that to other people, especially dudes in their late 40s, early 50s, 60s, 70s, because sometimes we need to train a little bit different than a 20-year-old. So now that month has allowed me to say, hey, I've developed this blueprint, and it's not just coming from a textbook. I lived it for a month, and here's what I did, and now I can teach it to you. And you did the same thing. Yeah. And that's where our teaching comes from. That's where our encouragement comes from.
Experience, strength, and hope.
Yeah, It's so good. And you're such an inspiration for me to be able to do that stuff. So that's just so cool. What else can we talk about? Oh, I want to talk about the freemium model that we changed to. That's something since you and I have been together on the podcast that's changed. You want to start by telling the audience what that's about?
Yeah, so the whole school now is free to join. It doesn't even ask for a credit card anymore when you come in. You have access to all of the community message boards. So we have different tabs for different things. You get an access into one classroom that start here. Mm-hmm. And every once in a while, we'll post a Zoom call in the classroom for everybody to watch. And then from there, you upgrade. So we have the premium or the standard. Premium. And that gives you access into the classrooms. And then you get one call with Jim. And then obviously deep water, which is where it goes a little bit deeper. That's the more hands-on coaching with Jim, where he would give you your supplements and all that stuff that he takes.
We dial up your nutrition plan.
But the freemium is kind of where it's at, which I don't understand why not everyone's flooding the gates.
Yeah.
Because you come in and you have zero to give. You don't have to give your credit card. If you don't even want to update your bio and put a thing in there, you don't have to. You can only grow and places that are planted with good sunlight and getting watered.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can't be surprised if you're living in a dark alley and you're covered in dog feces.
Yeah. And here was the mentality behind the decision, because we did this for over a year and then decided, you know what, there seems to be this barrier to entry. And not just a barrier to entry, but what it turned into was a barrier to trust. We need you to trust us and who we are and what we're about, and that we're authentic, Jesus-loving people who are trying to focus on understanding that fitness is a part of our walk with Christ and allows us to walk out the callings that God gave us. So we're about fitness, we're about faith, we're about family. That's what we do in building and becoming. But what we were finding was there's this barrier because people are like, I don't know who you are. I'm not giving you money. Great, don't give us any money. That's why we created this. Come spend time with us. I post a devotional every single morning. There's a daily nugget every day. Allie's posting things in school every day that are encouraging and funny and inspirational and directional. Things on parenting and fitness and faith and just honest things that will help you grow. And not just the two of us, the other members get in there. It's like it's a private WhatsApp conversation for people in the community.
Or Microsoft Teams or school.
Or Slack. Yeah.
See, that's kind of how it is. It's fun. And again, it doesn't require anything out of you. You can go as far as you want to go.
And that's what we wanted to do, right? We're not going to pull you up a rope, but we're going to drop the rope and say, if you're willing to grab a hold of it, we're going to teach you to climb it at your pace.
Yep.
And at the level at which you're comfortable. In the show notes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link at the very top to enter school for free. You click on it, it's going to take you there. It's going to take you 60 seconds to join our school. Then I'm going to reach out to you, and we're going to give you some instructions on how to come in and how to utilize the app. Would you be cool with me putting your social media in the show notes?
Yeah.
Because there might be some people out there, and probably especially females, that are like, you know what? I have a couple questions for Allie. And did she struggle with this? And on 75 Hard, I struggled with this. And then, yeah, I'm sure Allie'd be happy to interact with you. And then she's going to ask you, hey, let's do this in school, because there's a bunch of other people that have the same kind of questions.
Exactly.
So I think that'll be fun. We'll do that. What else is on the horizon? What do we got going on here? This is almost February. What's on the agenda? What's next?
Oh, Lord, I don't know.
It's okay not to know.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like just in the moment. Because like you and I had talked about, maybe I'll restart 75 Hard again. And I just don't know if I want to do that just yet. So I've been throwing around maybe trying like the Mediterranean diet, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just going to pray into it and see. One of my main goals, though, is I want to be more active in the different community platforms. So that's something that I really want to pour my focus into and kind of making my presence more known. And so that's what I want to do. I want to just continue to be me. Like, I don't want to, I'm not going to go so far back that it feels like I've taken 6 steps backwards. Like, I've gotten to a point where my life is basically this. Like, I'm still going to train and rock and eat the way that I've been eating. I just want to continue to be a really good example. I want to continue to grow our business, and I want that to be where my focus is. I want to kind of off brand, but I want to learn how to crochet. So that's been something that I've been really thinking of is I want to find more
Afghans.
Yeah. I want to find more stuff to fill my cup in this next chapter. Yeah. And you guys fill my cup, and, you know, exercising and doing all that stuff really fills my cup. So I just want to kind of turn on my creative side of my brain for a little bit and see what I can come up with.
I love that, because that answer, all I'm hearing as I'm hearing you say those different things is you're going to operate this next season in freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that should be the goal.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the next biggest paycheck or the promotion or what does this person think of me or I got to lose this weight first. And that it's got to be about chasing freedom. Just live a free life. Make your choices.
I just want to add more things to my resume, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
you want to build your life resume.
Yeah. So that's just, I'm going to soak up today. I had a cookie already today.
Same. Me too. Pretty freaking good.
And I ordered some stuff from this company called Fizz, and they specify in dirty sodas. And so I'm going to have a little bit of treats today, and then it's back on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to kind of just be. I'm going to live my life, watch my shows, and be freaking creative.
You know, when you talk about building your life resume, you know what else you're building is legacy.
Yep.
And people forget that. We tend to think legacy is something that's only for the rich people, or, you know, that what are you going to leave behind and your estate and all that stuff. But legacy is your life resume. You're building, when you say life resume, you're actually drawing up every day like architectural blueprints for Allie on how to live a life of a godly woman.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And that's what you spend your time doing. And then the rest of the time when you're not doing that, we spend our time focusing on how can we show you how to do the same thing.
Yeah. Be a godly man or woman.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this next phase. I guess that's why there is so much that I could quite possibly do. And so I'm just going to try to tackle it all on, you know, and then maybe in a few months I'll decide to do 75 hard again. But I know that those are those things that you should do. You know, he really stresses, you know, once a year and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't know. I kind of feel good just having that notch in my belt. And let me see what other challenges I can do. Maybe we'll participate in some sort of walk or when it gets warmer. So I don't know. One thing I do know is that I'm going to add weight to my ruck because I know that towards the end I was like, this is kind of cakewalk. So maybe bump it up to 25 or 30 pounds. That's something that I really want to accomplish. But yeah, life is good, man. I don't have any complaints, and I'm really freaking proud of myself for what I did and how hard I worked. And I really made this become my whole life. I go to see my dad probably twice a year. Arlie and I go down 2 weeks in the summer, and then I do a fall trip where it's just myself. And we wanted to go to who is it? Who's down there? The baseball.
Cincinnati Reds.
My dad loves no, does he love is it the Nets? I don't know. He loves one of them. And
the Mets?
Is it the Mets? Nets? Nets?
That's a basketball team, so probably not.
Okay, maybe it is the Reds. I don't know. But we were going to go we were going to go and watch them play because they're his favorite team. And because I wanted to jump right into my second phase. I couldn't go out there.
Yeah, I canceled.
That was my commitment because I was like, this is more important to me, than a baseball game. I need to stay on track because I did phase 75 hard in phase 1. I took a day or two off between 75 hard. And then phase 2, I got it done right before we got married, which set me on track to have enough time off before starting phase 3. But I was able to really not feel bad about the boundaries I set and was able to figure out what's important. So it was nice.
So growth always costs you something. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that people don't understand is everybody wants life improvement. They want to be in better shape. They want to know the Lord more. They want to have more money. They want to have a better marriage. They want to be better parents. All those things, all those wants are natural.
Right.
But when you start showing them the cost, all of a sudden they're like, well, I don't know if I'm willing to pay the cost. I mean, I want all this stuff. If someone would just drop it off at my door, that'd be cool.
Yeah, wrapped up. Well, exactly. Before I started Whole30 for phase 2, I had rallied up a bunch of girls to do it with me. And they're like, yeah, we'll do it.
We're in.
And then it came down to like, okay, I can't eat that. And I have to do this. This is going to, and then nobody wants to do that. But again, which is why there are paid members or levels in school, because without cost, there is no investment. Things cannot always be free. I mean, we see what happens just in society as a whole when a bunch of stuff is given away to people. They go rogue and they don't take care of it.
Right.
That's why in order for you to grow, the way that you have the potential to become, you have to pay something. You have to have skin in the game because then it doesn't hurt if it goes away.
What we like to say is, as you touched on, where there is no investment, there's no commitment. Mm-hmm. Where there's no true commitment, there's no growth.
Yep, exactly.
We all have to pay the cost, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned masterclass. You said you did Sarah Blakely's masterclass and you did all kinds of other stuff with masterclass. Masterclass is expensive. Okay. Right. You have to pay for it. But the cost is it's not a cost, it's an investment in your growth. And that's what I try to tell people. We invested in our growth in 2025, 5 figures plus on trying to be better at everything that we're now teaching.
Well, and with Masterclass, they do sales. So like at Christmas time, it's half off. So there's ways to do it if cost is a huge factor. You just have to figure out when's the right time to buy it and how do I budget for accordingly. Because something that I've seen a lot of people do is my dad, for instance, writes down all of his money in like a Google Doc. So he's able to see what's going out and what's coming in. And that's something that if you're like, I financially can't afford it, how do you know? I would track your stuff. That's the same, like people with eating. How do you know that you're in a calorie deficit? How do you know that you're getting enough protein? If you're not tracking your stuff in, there's no way. You're making an assumption.
You're exactly right. I want to talk about the structural framework we have in Building and Becoming, because we talked about different levels.
Yep.
But people, even those that are in Building and Becoming now, might not know this. So let's say you come in, you join, like we said, it's totally free. Not going to ask you for credit card, no nothing. You're in. And then you start exploring around and you're like, okay, I see this, and I got to watch one of these Zooms and that was cool because Jim, it let us come into this private one. And I kind of want to be part of that. If you want to go to the premium level, you just go in and do a mouse click and you're in. And if you want to stay for a month and then back down to freemium because life's gotten in the way or it's just, this isn't the right time or whatever, you're not getting the value out of it. I hope that wouldn't be the case, but you go back down to free. Then if you're like, hey, this is a period of growth for me, I'm going to jump up into the top tier in VIP Deepwater. I'm going to do it for 90 days. Come in for 90 days. Then go back down the ladder, go up the ladder, go down the ladder. We've created it with such full client flexibility, with zero contracts and no long-term obligation. You go up and down and however you want at your pace.
It's all in your membership settings. So you don't have to scan everywhere to try to find it. You go, you click on your name, you select what membership you're in, and you upgrade. And that's how easy it is. There's not a bunch of extra stuff. You don't have to reach out to Jim. You don't have to call anybody. You're in control of your own destiny.
That's it. You don't have to, hey, Jim, could you please bring me back down to free and I need to go up to premium? You handle it all on your own. The infrastructure that we pay for in school is astounding. We've cut no corners. It's the most user-friendly, client-friendly situation we could get for you because we didn't want that to be a burden. We want you to be here with growth, not stress. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to share with the crew before we get the heck out of here and go enjoy the rest of your, day 0?
Yeah. No, I don't have anything else.
All right, guys. Till next time. See ya.
Bye.